What's good, everyone? My name is Casey Crutchfield, and welcome to episode 21 of Enjoy Life. Before we get started here today, please hit that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to leave a comment. Love hearing feedback from you guys, and thank you all to the viewers and listeners for all the support and all the love. Going to keep on going and give out great episodes. But without further ado, my guest to my right here today, he is a sophomore at Nicholls State University, studying mass communications with journalism. Good friend of mine, Mr. Tory Trahan.
Oh, Casey, how you doing? Doing good, man. It's been a while.
I know it has been a little while. I just want to say thank you for reaching out to me, man. I'm sorry I reached out a little bit late.
All right, that's all right.
It.
That's all right.
And I'm glad to be able to for you to kind of share your story on a platform. But without further ado, man, let's just get started. Let's talk a little bit about you, maybe about life growing up and all that.
So I started before we give some context. Before we get started, I do have disabilities. I use a mobility scooter around campus, and I walk with a walker when I'm not on campus. And that's going to be the moral of the story, is that I'm still able to do the stuff that I love to do, even with all this stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
Started at about the age of 2. I mean, I've been seeing doctors all my life, especially with my younger age. We went through 5 or 6 doctors.
Okay.
In about a span of 10 years. Nobody could tell us anything. With Children's Hospital in New Orleans, they have a little subsidiary in Lafayette where I'm from. So I was able to go there. Doctor visit after doctor visit. Oh, we just don't know what's going on. Here's a check. Here's a bill. So my mom had looked into Shriners in Shreveport. And we went there. There's no bill. Insurance pays what insurance pays. It's like they'll see you. It's kind of like that, but orthopedics. First 5 minutes I was there. I took x-rays like normal. I'm like, okay, here we go, normal. In about 5 minutes, they could tell me what was going on with my body, what was going on with my legs, my back, and we're scheduling surgeries.
Okay. And about this time, how old are you?
I was, let's see, if that was 5 years ago, 2019, 18, I was 16.
Okay.
About 15, 16 years old. Got about 2 major surgeries done in about a 1.5 year span, which kind of, I think, made recovery a little rough for me. So that's why I'm still using the walker. That's why I'm still using the scooter, because I don't have a muscle in my leg.
Yeah.
And as that, I lived walking. I was able to walk before all of it.
Okay.
Before my first back surgery, I was able to walk.
Okay.
Not normally, but I was able to walk, As time grew on, that hunch in my back kept growing and growing and growing to about a 75-degree curve.
Oh, wow.
And it was to the point where my spine was starting to crush my organs.
Mm-hmm.
It was like either you get this surgery or you're gonna die type situation. So of course I don't die. I got dreams of being a sports broadcaster. So I went ahead and did it. Spine surgery, December 12th, 2018, they cut a good line down my back. It's about halfway. Put a metal rod in there, sewed it up, did some other stuff, bada bing, bada boom. Fast forward 11 months. I also had a problem with my hips on down, where if my feet were straight, my knees were curved in. If my knees were straight, my feet were curved out.
Okay.
So we had to address that issue too, because that wasn't my back wasn't the only thing going on. So 11 months later, we finally scheduled that surgery. It was November 13th, 2019, my mom's birthday.
Okay.
That's how I remember it so well. It was about a 6-hour surgery. And then went all the way from the hips on down. Fixed everything. Rotated my hips. Rotated bones in my knees. Broke bones. Refixed them.
Mm-hmm.
Just did a lot of muscle stuff. And a lot of stuff that I don't really remember them doing, because of course I was under anesthesia.
Yeah.
And it's like a blur, those surgeries. Anytime you have a surgery, it's like a blur. You don't really remember what's going on. You just remember it in that time. Anyway, what I do remember is that I posted to Instagram the next day and my feet were straight. Everything was straight.
Mm-hmm.
I kept looking down and I'm like, how is this possible? Like, I never thought this would happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it did. So that was a rough recovery. Spent about 6 weeks in a wheelchair. Went to my mom's wedding in a wheelchair. Not served on the wedding, but I was part of the immediate family in the wedding, so I walked down the aisle and everything. Did all that in a wheelchair. I had to learn how to use a wheelchair.
Okay.
And then about a few weeks later, it was time to do some intensive therapy up in Shreveport. So stayed there, made Shreveport my home for about a month.
Mm-hmm.
I would come back down on weekends. And of course, the last weekend I'm over there, I catch what's now known as COVID.
Oh, okay.
This was January of 2020.
So like right when
it was said that everything was starting to like trickle out in the news, trying to figure out what's going on, I actually had it. And I know I had it because whatever they said what the symptoms were, I had it. Those the same symptoms. So that cut my last therapy session short. So I went back home, aches and chills, and then the pandemic happens. Can't really get physical therapy at this point.
Yeah.
Everything's shut down. We're living at home, sitting down. Your knees are gonna regress. Your bones are gonna regress. And I had another back surgery in July of 2020.
Okay.
They extended the lower rod from the middle of my back all the way down to my tailbone. So my back is fully, and it's TSA grabber, I like to call it.
Okay.
And it's has happened before. I'm going through whatever they call them, the machines. Yeah, at Minute Maid Park, Astros game. My 18th birthday, it goes off. I already told the security guard, hey, I got metal in my back. They still pat me down. So that's one of the things I remember, like, okay, I'm really made of metal.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. So that's basically that. I was still in school doing this. High school.
Yeah, trying to balance school, and
I was out of school for about 3 months.
And that's your senior year too.
This was junior.
Okay.
I graduated in 2021. So yeah, sophomore year.
Okay.
Sophomore year, 2020. Because junior year was 2020, 2021 was a senior year. So yeah, it was junior year. And of course, I went to a school with kids that have learning disabilities and like autism or ADHD because I couldn't function in a public school system.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine how bad it would be after all that. I was pulled out in about the 6th grade and went to 2 different schools. And I graduated from the one I went to the longest, though. Shout out EBS.
Out.
And they couldn't be more accommodating to what I was going through. They helped me. They made sure I had everything. Threw a little going away party for me before my surgery, because they knew I was a nervous wreck.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody's gonna be a nervous wreck before surgery, but like this particular one, like you mess up one thing, you could be paralyzed for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And it started with that. So went back to school. Of course, it was virtual. So we went on Zoom. And 2021, my senior year was in person. I was able to walk with my walker. My goal was to walk without a walker down the aisle for graduation. Wasn't able to do that because I had the surgery in July. So I wasn't able to do that. So I walked with my walker, got my diploma and everything. And I worked at Walmart for a year back home. And then during that time at Walmart, I kind of found Nicholls State. I was told about the Bridge program, Bridge Independence, and it's for kids kind of like the high school went through for kids with learning disabilities,
Yeah.
ADHD,
Autism.
got accepted into that. Got accepted into Nicholls State, and been here ever since, man. This was
And
2022.
so was this like your first time like hearing about Thibodeau?
2022. No, not really. I didn't know what Thibodeau was. I knew where Houma was
Okay.
because I went to one Mardi Gras parade in Houma. And that was like one of the more bigger ones I've ever been to because with my conditions, I really couldn't get around much.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's where I was going, but May of 22, I'm coming down for a tour of Nicholls, and I see people fishing on the side of the road. You know, this little the Chapatula exit off of Highway 90. I'm coming down that, and you take the right. I don't know what road that is, but I see people fishing on the side of the road, and I post a Snapchat with a picture of it, and I'm like, where am I? Is this normal that people fish on the side of the road? I'm used to fishing in a lake in a bass boat, you know? I went with my dad for fishing tournaments all my life. I'm used to fishing in like, you know, Sherrington. Some people might understand these places. Sherrington, Booties, Chapel River, you know, places like that. And apparently fishing on the side of the road is a big thing down here. I don't know how much they catch because I look in that water every time I pass by and I'm like, how are there even fish alive in there? It's all green and stuff. I'm like, there's no way. But when I got to Nicholls, there was just something. There was something about whenever I was taking the tour and walking around campus special about Nicholls. And I was like, all right, let's do this. I got accepted into the university. I went to orientation June 3rd. I got to come in here to the radio station where we are right now. I got to go live on air for about 5 minutes. Dream come true. I grew up listening to the radio. I grew up admiring journalism. And to be able to do that kind of highlighted my day. And, you know, I've never really been out of the house and around like more than 20 people at a time. So being over here with all kind of people kind of, you know, stepping out my comfort zone a little bit. But
yeah,
definitely, especially with the disabilities I have, I didn't know how things would turn out. I was wrong. I shouldn't have been worried, you know? Everybody was so accommodating. And that's how I fell in love with the city, Thibodeau and Nicholls.
Yeah. And so moving on, when did the journalism start to sort of kick in and like start to become more of your life?
So when I was 9 years old, I watched the late Stuart Scott on ESPN. And I pointed at the TV and I was like, I want to be like him. And of course, Stuart died in 2012.
Okay.
Of cancer. It kind of hit me because
So when you looked up to
exactly my person I want to be isn't here no more. So I found a new person to look up to, and that was Gerald Bruning of KLFY 10. I graduated from Nicholls State. How I knew I wanted to go into journalism and how I knew I wanted to come to Nicholls was the morning show that was in Lafayette, KLFY and Passepartout. All three of the hosts were Nicholls graduates. Gerald Bruning, Sylvia Masters, and Caroline Marcello. All three. I looked up to those three. And that's how I found out about Nicholls. I didn't know much about Nicholls more until I started reading into it. Like I said, like when I was working at Walmart. That time I had off from high school. I came here. I was first person I'm looking for is somebody that knows Gerald Bruning. To see if I can meet him because I had never met him. Just so happened that Southeastern Journalism Conference comes to Thibodeau, and guess who the keynote speaker is? Gerald Bruning. Guess who I got to meet that next February? Gerald Bruning.
And tell me about that experience.
That was great. Oh my God. I grew up with this man. Kind of like grew up with him like my teenage age years. He came to Lafayette, I think, 2014. And I just started watching. He has Acadian Eats. He does. That's a big thing. Very, very big thing. Very big following. He has his own festival. Just seeing him, I didn't know he was that tall. He apparently played. I found out he played football here, and he was an offensive lineman. I look up at him, I'm like, oh man, you're not that tall. You don't look that tall on TV. Of course, TV adds a little less, but
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like whenever you see people on TV and like the Charlotte tall. Jaron's case was tall. We got to shake his hand, got to little dap up. That was so cool. Like I think I was shaking because I was like, it's just freaking Gerald Gruning right here.
Yeah, someone you look up to.
Yeah.
And so, when did you start to get involved with like the Tory T Sports?
So the Tory T Sports thing was, I had to learn a few things over here at Nicholls. I started covering football games over here my freshman year, the second home game of the 2022 season, and ever since then I haven't missed a home game.
Mm-hmm.
I learned some stuff. Then I picked up on basketball, baseball, softball, and went with it. Started working with the Nicholsworth. So I learned, how to write an AB style and how to do news stories. I also worked with RTDNA, was a club on campus that's still here, and I learned how to make some kind of like multimedia packages, shorts, clips, like I do in Tory T Sports. And so one day, it was 2024, spring of 24. I was like, I don't want to lose touch of my journalism thing, the skills. So I decided to make a page just out of the wazoo, Tory T Sports. Everybody calls me Tory T. I'm DJ Tory T and Tory T Sports. So it just so happens that at the time, Arena Football League was coming back. I don't know if you remember the Arena Football League.
Mm-hmm.
They had the New Orleans Voodoo, but now they had the Louisiana Voodoo coming to Lafayette. Apparently, Lake Charles didn't work out, so they went to Lafayette. And I was going to cover them for the summer. That folded quickly. Found out the players weren't getting paid, and quarterback in the team was Chase Forkay, one of the greatest quarterbacks in Nicholls State history. So that even gave me another reason I wanted to get the Voodoo. But that didn't work out, so I go home for the summer, like, all right, what am I going to do with this website? Because I'm not just going to leave it be. I got a little bit of a following, Somebody promoted it. There was this team about not even 5 minutes down the road from where I live called the Acadiana Cane Cutters.
Okay.
Of the Texas Collegiate League. Summer ball, summer college baseball with bats. I reached out to their sales manager who put me with their kind of executive promoters, whatever you want to call it, their guy. And the day before the home opener, I was told I could come cover it. I went there day one, didn't know a single person except Tristan. Then I got to meet people. And I found out there were 3 players that came from Nicholls and on this team.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I know some people.
Yeah.
Shout out Ashley Quiller, shout out Noah Maloko, shout out Harper Jordan. Those guys made it better for me to feel better.
Feel a lot more comfortable.
Yeah. And, they had some guys that we faced against Nicholls. Bryce Callaway of UNO, one of the best players in the Southern Conference, is on this team. Plus, Alexander Saunier, who also hit a home run against Nicholls. And the reason why we got swept by UNO is because of, and Trey Usay as well. Also, some guys from Southeastern were there, people around the conference, so I could start like crap talking them Nicholls, like, hey, we're back to back now, Southern champions. Are you? That's how I kind of got comfortable, and then the players thought it funny. They started to recognize, they started to respect what I did and the grind. I missed only one game. If I was sick, I went. If I was having my birthday, I went. Like that, I got to meet people. I got to be around a team that respected me, and
didn't really look at you differently.
No,
just saw you as who you are. Respect what you do. And I think I also noticed, because I look at your page, didn't they kind of give you some stuff?
They did. Well, the hat I bought.
Okay.
That hat I bought, that first one. And then I always wanted a shirt. But Tristan, the guy that does the executive stuff, He wanted me to MC a home run derby they were having. So I'm like, sure, that's perfect. That's right up my alley. I guess I did so flawlessly that they made me MC for the rest of the season on the field, like an in-game host, where I would be, doing the intermission game, where I would be like, hyping up the crowd.
Yeah.
I fell straight in love with it. I did that for the final few games of the season, plus one playoff game.
Okay.
And I traveled with the team to several away games in Lake Charles at Nicholls Stadium. And their guy has a in-game host too, their team. And I got some tips from him. I got some tips from the in-game host from the Pelicans, the New Orleans Pelicans and the Saints, because I knew him too. And then while I was also there, I got to be a part of some live shots for K80 and News 15.
Yeah, I saw
their guy, Will Heron, their sports director, he covers the Cane Cutters. I met him because I knew about him. I met him. I showed him what I do. And he texted me up one day. He's like, hey, Tory, how do you feel about doing some live shots? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Did those. Was nervous, but did them. And I got to do two more. So for one more game, it was 2 live shots. 5 and 6 o'clock. So I got to do 2 games like that. Team ended up making the championship, the whole league championship in Victoria, Texas. Of course, I went to that.
Yeah, of course.
You know how hot it is in Victoria, Texas, Casey? Have you felt Louisiana heat before? Have you felt Texas heat before?
Yeah.
Casey, I can tell you what, I had an energy drink. That was my pregame meal. I bought it cold about 5 minutes before I got to the stadium. I got down. It was about 100-some degrees. I open it. When I get into the stadium, I open it like I always do. It was warm. It did not taste good. That Texas heat is no joke. But unfortunately, we lost. But a really good team called the Victoria Generals had the best record in the league. They deserved it this year. Definitely going to be back on the Cane Cutters next season.
Yeah.
I fell in love quickly with that team, and I think the team fell in love with me real quickly too.
And that's what it sounds like. And I just want to congratulate you for that opportunity, because I'm sure that's going to network you to other places.
And it already has.
But what was it like getting those live shots? I feel like what you've told me so far, you've gone through a lot of adversity, a lot of times where someone may have quit or someone may have maybe stopped. And what did that moment mean to you?
It meant the world. When he texted me, when Will Heron texted me just one random Monday before a game, one random Monday before a Tuesday game, I had to stop and breathe, because this dude just asked me if I want to do a live on TV with him talking sports.
Yeah.
And my 2 favorite anchors are sitting at the anchor desk, Marcel Vondo and Jim Hummel, who switched networks. And I'm like, I'm gonna be on the same channel as them. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And it felt like I was where I needed to be.
Yeah.
It boosted up Tory T Sports a lot. The whole season boosted it up, and we're keeping it going, man.
Yeah. So with that moving, I know you told me that you got that's your first sponsor, the SeatGeek?
SeatGeek.
Yeah. So you want to kind of tell me about that?
So SeatGeek was able to. There's a thing called the Brand Ambassador Program. So it's like an affiliate. You sign up, and if you have a good enough following, you can, they'll give you a code. You can promote it as much as you can. I applied maybe 3 weeks before I got the email. I got the email on a bad day. I was having a bad day. Girlfriend just broke up with me. I'm sitting outside the union, kind of depressed, eating some cheese bites from pizza inside the union. I get an email from SeatGeek. I'm like, I didn't buy tickets. That's usually where I buy my ticket. I haven't bought tickets, but I remember what I applied for. And I'm like, oh, shoot. So I put my cheese bites down and I grab my phone as quickly as I can. Congratulations, you've been accepted into the SeatGeek program. I'm like, what the hell did I do to deserve this? And I start calling everybody. I'm almost on the verge of tears, bro. Like, that's big. You know, you earn money towards this. Like, you know, they use your code and you save $20. Person saves $20 in their first purchase. I get $10 off of that, off of anybody that used that code. Now, I haven't checked to see if anybody used it yet, but I might go check after this.
Yeah.
Because I started promoting it. I promoted it. I did like a little video shoot on the field, on the football field. That didn't work out well. Scrapped that idea, just did the graphic. Then went along with that, you know, just branding is a big thing. And, you know, to have CD calling that branding is big.
That's awesome, man. And I'm so happy for you for that. I know that means a lot. So kind of moving on towards the future, what's your end game?
My end game is, let's have a family first off. Get somebody that can actually support me, you know, a girl that can, you know, understand that journalism takes a lot of time and a lot of sacrifices. So one person to understand that is going to mean the world to me.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, my dream is always to have kids, but my goal is to be in the NFL booth calling a game on a Sunday afternoon for a major network.
That's a great goal to have.
That's the goal. That's the goal I've been having. And
it seems like you're in the right direction already.
So, because when I was at the Manning Passing Academy,
I did see you did.
I met the Mannings. I talked to Manning, made a video with them. They loved it. But I also met Charles Davis.
Yes,
he is the number 2 analyst in the NFL and CBS with Iron Eagle, who's not. If it's not Jim Nantz, it's Iron Eagle. That's my favorite. I freaked out whenever I saw him. I heard him. Yeah. He was standing right next to me the whole time for about 20 minutes. I didn't know this man was him until I heard. I'm going to tell you how much I play Madden, the video game. He's been on there since Madden 17. I've been playing Madden since Madden 11. So, of course, I hear that voice a lot whenever I'm playing Madden. It's the only commentating team they got. When I heard his voice, I put my camera down. I looked to my right. I'm trying to figure out if that's him or not. And he said something. I don't remember what he said, but he said something like, "That's Charles Davis." I think I blacked out, but all I can remember is that I called him the Madden Man before I called him Charles Davis.
Uh-huh.
You're the Madden Man. I'm like, you're Charles Davis. That's exactly how that went. He laughed about it. And, you know, I got to talk with him for about a good 10 minutes.
And I know that must have meant a lot.
He took 2 of my business cards. I had business cards with me. He took 2 of them to keep up with my stuff.
That's great.
I still think he is, because I've been getting more and more following since then. So I think he's using that as some magic. And he told me one thing that I remember for a lifetime. I told him what I wanted to do. And he's like, I hope I get to be in a booth with you one day before I get old. And I'm not able to do this. I'm going to put my goal towards that. I want to be in a booth with Charles Davis.
Might even be taking Charles Davis's foot.
No. I'm on the other side. So I'll play. So I would be in the booth with him, not taking his place.
Okay.
So I would be the other guy. That's what I want to do. Called play-by-play.
Okay.
Yeah, the play-by-play, and then you got a color commentator. Color commentator is Charles Davis.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You've talked a lot about, you know, how adversity, you know, doesn't stop you, and none of that. What role does faith play in there? I know you've Awakening.
Faith plays a lot. Awakening. If anybody doesn't know, Colonel Catholics over here at Nicholls State, you know, they hold something called Awakening, and it's a retreat. When I was dealing with my disability, growing up, I went to church every Sunday. 8:30 a.m. mass with my aunt. Ever since I started having these surgeries, I really wasn't able to go. And it put me in a really dark place. And I had opportunities to go to what was called Awakening, what I was being told about. And I was like, do I really? And my roommate for the fall 23 semester was Scott LaBeouf. Guy in a wheelchair, just like me.
Yeah,
you know, he he persuaded me to go. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go. And he's going to play a role in this, a big role in this. Because he tricked me about something, you know. The experience was great. I recommend it to anybody who really wants to find their faith again, to go through awakening. It is going to change your life drastically, just like it did mine.
I agree.
I can't tell you how many friends I got right now, including you. I met through this.
Yeah,
I met you through this.
Mm-hmm.
You were there. I rolled in, didn't know anybody except one person, because I had class with him. That was the only person I knew. And then I started talking to people, and then stuff happened. I'm not gonna, can't really
speak on it.
Stuff happened that was magical.
It's a great experience. If you haven't gone and you go to Nicholls, please go. But yeah, that was my first time seeing you, and I mean, I'm so happy.
What was your thoughts? You saw? Of course you saw Scott. You were there with Scott. You saw him come in.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts like on that? Like seeing a person with disabilities be able to go through that.
For one, I think it just means a lot.
Flip the script. Now you're the guest. See, that's the journalist thing. I just flip the whole script. My show now I'm playing.
One, I think a lot of maybe people in that position, I can see what you mean. Like, you know, maybe not nervous, but anxiety, because you don't know what's about to happen. You don't know what you're going to go through.
Right. And Scott didn't want to talk.
I think once you realize, like, all the people there
are there for you.
Yeah. You feel so much better, and I can already tell. Like, I see you in all the pictures with Colonel Catholics.
Yeah, I'm a big person with Colonel Catholics now. I went through that. I'm there at everything,
and I'm happy to hear that, because not only did you kind of find your faith again, but you've also found people
that love me,
that love you. Yeah, and
for who I am.
Exactly, and you know, you'll never know where that brings you in the future. So, just for that, I'm truly happy for you, bro.
I got to go to St. Louis.
Yep.
In January for Seek. I'm going to Salt Lake City again in January for 25. That was a great experience, you know, exploring downtown St. Louis, you know, getting to go into the America's Dome before ever Jones Dome, but the Rams played. I took a peek into the concessions area and they have a concourse that I took a peek in. I'm like, whoa, this is unchanged.
Yeah.
Straight out of the 90s. It started the greatest show on grill. It was called, was the name of the restaurant. I'm like, that's freaking Kurt Warner on a logo. And that's freaking Tory Holt on a logo, you know?
Yeah.
That kind of freaked me out a little bit, but I think I was in the wrong place. I had to go back to find my area. But that was cool stumbling against that. And I got to experience Ballpark Village in St. Louis, where the Cardinals play. Saw a statue of Jack Buck. If you don't know Jack Buck was the Cardinals announcer. His son is Joe Buck. Joe Buck has done a lot. I took a picture with that statue, and I think that was another testament to, like, man, these are signs all over that I'm in the right place at the right time. You know, didn't get better than that. If only the Cardinals were playing, man. If only.
But I'm just so excited that just to hear these experiences that you've been through, and how you don't let the negatives affect you. That's one thing I really admire about you. But just to kind of close things out, because I'm kind of we're getting towards that mark. I always ask this, if you haven't watched, why do you enjoy life, Tory?
I enjoy life because you never know what life's going to throw at you. It's always a mystery. It's always an adventure. And that's one great thing about life, you know, especially in my role. Like, I could be just sitting down collecting a check from the government. I'm not doing that. I'm working. I'm experiencing things. And I'm making a name for myself while going through all of these things, not letting it even stop me. That's why I enjoy life, because you never know what goes on in life. It is all good. Good and the bad, but mostly the good.
Yeah. I think that is a great answer. I love to hear that. And I just want to wish you good luck with everything. You want to shout out your SeatGeek code?
Let's do it. Oh, man. If you haven't already, download the SeatGeek app on your mobile devices right now. For your first purchase of $20 or more, use code Tory T. That's TORYT. We'll save $20 on your purchase, and I'll get $10 off of that. That helped a lot. Again, that's code TORYT in SeatGeek. SeatGeek, take the hassle of buying tickets. Bam.
There. I love that. I love that.
That was so like, oh, that was great.
But we're going to close things out. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget to leave a comment. Love reading through the comments. And thank you for all the viewers and all the listeners. With that being said, we are out.